Hey, welcome back to another episode of Pubcast After Hours. It's me and your favorite guest, CJMac.
What is going on? I love being here.
Dude, help me out. What episode was that? The we just left off on Andor?
It was episode 7, I believe.
No way. We are
I gotta
barely
look it back up.
halfway. We are barely halfway through this. That was
Yeah,
episode 7. Holy shit!
it was episode 7. Man,
It felt like a season finale.
I thought we were done the last episode, but this episode I was like, it's still more. Let's go. So glad to be here.
Yeah, welcome back again. We were joking earlier that our last after hours with our Andor reactions after, I believe that was after episode 4, maybe 5.
Yeah,
might have been 5.
4 or 5. Yeah.
That it got a ton of hits. And so I admittedly got behind a little bit. I didn't get to watch episode 6 because I was doing some traveling. I went out of town. And so CJ graciously allowed me to watch episode 6 with him again. He watched it for a second time, and then we watched the new episode 7 that aired tonight. We were recording on Wednesday, the 19th, and holy shit! Not only was episode 6 phenomenal, like it was like
so
more action, better.
Yes.
Like it, oh my god, like it really brought me back to like Rogue One. Like this is some what you said while we were watching it. You were like, this is like Star Wars Ocean's 11.
This was Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, like that whole robbery scene. I haven't felt that much excitement in an episode of I'm not gonna say of Star Wars, but I've always felt an excitement in Star Wars. But in a movie scene, I was like, yes, steal it all. Take it. Like, take it. like when I was watching Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, I was like, do it. Yes. This is my plot line. So,
dude, it was phenomenal. That whole episode was fantastic. We were in Discord and we were watching this together, and just to make sure it was running smoothly, I had it on 720, and CJ was like, "Hey, bud, you got to bump that to 1080. It's about to get real."
yeah. So I watched the episode about the eye ahead of time. I watched it a week. Well, I watched it.
You watched it when it came out.
Yeah, I watched it when it came out, and I was like, I will rewatch this whole episode just because it's fucking gorgeous. Excuse my language. But it was so beautiful with all the color, all the action that happened. It happened in one. It wasn't just a let's get action, then let's give you scenery. No, it was all of it in one.
Yeah. And then we had episode 7 that came out today that we literally just finished watching like 3 minutes ago. And while episode 6 was full of amazing action and it was just like, oh, finally built up to get here, I would almost say episode 7 like hit harder because it was so emotional. It was like what everything that they did in episode 6 meant for the entire galaxy.
Like, yes. So there were 2 points in that one. I want y'all to listen to. One, it was the storyline drew out so well between 2 episodes. Like Axe Ryan, I rewatched the last episode while I'm tipsy. I will say that, and I was like, yeah, I will rewatch this again. Yeah, cheers. And then after that, I was like, hey, like the storyline, I will watch this specific episode. I'll watch again because it solidified so much of the storyline. I need to watch the next episode right after. Like I have to watch it because it gave a lot more story. It gave a lot. It progressed the plot more along, but it wasn't a filler episode to where you're just like, oh, No, yeah. I saw the last episode and then this one.
Yeah, no, I would say episode 6 was a big deal episode. I'd say it's one of the like plot changing points of the episode. Like it was the action that we needed after we got a few. I'm not gonna say they're filler episodes. They were definitely build up episodes, but it was finally like the culmination of that build up. And then episode 7, the one we just watched, was everything. It was almost like a reaction to episode 6. Like it was like it, I mean, obviously, spoiler, duh, but
Bing.
but in episode 6, they raided the garrison and they stole all the payroll credits. I think they said 18 million credits or something.
Yeah, no, it
80,
was like
80
it was,
million.
80
million.
It was
sorry.
80 million credits that they took, and
yeah, it was, god damn it,
I can't remember his name. It was like Smeagol, not Smeagol, guys. This ain't Lord of the Rings.
I had it up because I knew you were gonna Skeen.
All right, so guys,
played by Eben Moss Bachrach.
Yes. So Skeen decided to like play his quote unquote low key cards. Not really quote unquote, but he decided to play these cards on where, hey, Andor, if you take half of the payroll credits, I'll take half, you take half, and then we can go about our day and just like leave everybody here on this planet. I don't know what his name was, but the kid, Carvis,
the kid,
Carvis, yeah, Nimic, the one who had he had the whole plot of where they go aligned,
right?
Guys, when Nimic got hit, spoiler alert, when Nimic was hit by that cart, and you can tell his spine he
got busted.
It was bad. That hit hard. Like that part hit hard when you saw it happen because you knew what happened.
Yeah,
but
and actually that scene is I think that was a turning point for Cassian as a character. Because, and I even said this to you while we were watching it. Skeen was like, I know a doctor, we can get him there. She's worried about the mission and that it will fuck the mission up. And Cassian turns around and he was like, where's the doctor? Like that, like that's where like Cassian first showed, maybe not first showed, like really showed to this group, like I have a heart. And then we see that play out later in Rogue One, right? Like, where he's given orders to kill Galen Erso, and just because
he swaps, Well, but that's actually the part because remember I told you I watched Rogue One again last week. That gives me a lot more for Cassian. I think anybody, if you're a big Star Wars fans, you have to go watch Rogue One again and specifically pay attention to Cassian's character. I think I'll go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, I think that gives his character development, even though we know where the hard stop is for him. If you, up to this point, if you watch Rogue One, obviously we know what happens to Cassian, but you don't get this much depth of a character development in most series. So when you get him to where he builds that personal relationship to where you see him make the quote unquote ultimate sacrifice, you're just like that. I'm so glad I watched a prequel. That's what makes a prequel so good.
Yeah. And like I said, that's why I'm so surprised that holy shit, we're only halfway through season 1. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is supposed to be 12 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're only on episode 7, and Jesus Christ, like, you've shown us everything you need to tell us about this character that would instrumentally lead him to being the person we knew in Rogue One, right? Like, you could take Andor after episode 7 and just pop him in Rogue One, and I'd be like, okay, I understand, I get it.
Yeah,
but we have so much more.
It makes you drawn so much more into the storyline now, because you're like, okay, so he would do this at that point. Now, when it comes down to Rogue One, when they get to what's the planet? Starts with an S.
God, stop doing that to me.
You know I'm gonna do that. I'm always gonna do it because I got so much. I have so many thoughts, leading into my head. Skarsgård. No, it's not.
No,
Skarsgård.
that's
Scarif,
Luthen's.
Scarif.
That's Luthen's actor's last name.
Yeah, so it's when they get to Scarif. When they get to
Scarif.
Scarif, that's the planet where they send the information of the Death Star up to the Rebel Alliance. But I'm just like, I just want to know more about him, because if we're only season 1 and we're halfway season 1 up to what actually happens going into the Rebel to any kind of rebellion, I need to know more about him now, because if we're so surface level, you're talking about we're a fourth up to what his character actually is. So I have to see a lot more. Please give me more of him.
Yeah, I will say, not only do we have 5 more episodes of this, but season 2 is absolutely confirmed.
Yes,
which means we probably have another 17 episodes.
Yes.
Which means, how do you put all of this, stretch that shit out all the way to Rogue One? Like, and granted here, I drank a little bit. So I'm not exactly on par with my Star Wars timeline. So I don't know how many years it is between where we are in Andor and where Rogue One starts. But I feel like it couldn't be that much acerbated amount of time, right? Like, one thing I really want to talk about from the show is Mon Mothma. Not for that reason.
Okay, I must say, okay, wait, for what reason? Because I'll say it. Beautiful.
Dude, oh my God.
She's beautiful.
She's fucking hot, man. Put her in that dress. Oh, I'm popping up on the screen right now. Look at that.
I mean, she looks like a MILF. I don't know if I can say that here.
Oh, I mean, you did. So.
she's an older character.
Yeah. No, so at this point, I think she's not that crazy old. She's probably low 40s. I don't know. Irrelevant. But we knew so little about her in the Star Wars films. Like, Mon Mothma is a staple of Star Wars films. Like, she's shown up in the sequels and the prequels and the originals, right? Like, yes. Mon Mothma's been there, but we didn't really know much. And now we're kind of getting some backstory on her, and I was not expecting that in the Andor series to get a Mon Mothma backstory, but I'm very intrigued by it. It's kind of awesome to see her. Like, she's like, oh, I wanted a rebellion. Oh, I didn't want that much of a rebellion. Oh, maybe this much of a rebellion's good for me. Like, all in the course of one episode. It's pretty awesome to see her kind of like figuring out like what a rebellion looks like, honestly. From her golden chapel in Coruscant.
And I think that's the part that really gets some of us, like, I'll say lore level Star Wars lovers, like, and I say lore level in the sense of we don't know the fine tuning. Like, I never read a book. I will always admit it. Never read the book, any books that happen, but you're getting a major character in all the movies you've already seen, if you just sat there and watched any of the newer Star Wars, you see Mon Mothma, you've gotten a minute backstory, but now you're getting like a dead, I don't want to say like a dead end, but from nothing to, it's not a from nothing to something, but this is whose character is future wise, because she plays a major part in the rebellion. She is part of the bigger rebellion. I just love how they give her like a from rags, not a rags to riches. Let's say from like riches to from riches to rebellion. Quote me on that one.
Yep.
They give a from riches to rebellion type of storyline to where you see, oh, that's who that is.
It's kind of funny, right? It's like when you think about like these high ranking, super fucking rich people trying to like, you know, like, oh, that's the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I think of your state, right? And I think of like Beto O'Rourke in Texas.
hey, we ain't getting that political because I don't want to go down that road. But I do agree from what you're saying. It's a small, nobody knows who you are. To you've made are this person. Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I'm glad that you support these causes, but honestly, you know, if your plans don't go through, you're still fine.
Yeah. Wait, you said it's Beto? Okay. So my producer said it was Beto.
Oh, my bad. No, dude. So one thing we saw tonight was we saw it with the what is ISB?
Yes,
or
ISB.
ISB. Really start to lock down on the mid rim outer, or not outer rim, but like those mid rim planets of who might be harboring rebellion. And it's pretty crazy to think like this is the switch that flipped, right? That really made the Imperial go from like what I mean, they said in the show, like kind of like a slow choke where it's not really noticed, to really like a full fucking grapple. And and this is what really spurred the rebellion. And we never got to see that before.
Well, yeah. And that's one of those questions. I know I said before in one of the after hours, like that was one of those questions. You know, people like me, we were like, "What? You don't go from like 0 to 100. You know, you don't just lock down. I mean, just to make it kind of realistic, you don't lock down an entire country just for nothing. Like it's something that has to spark it, which they took the garrison. So that's what sparked the Empire, like saying, "Hey, we're about to lock down all this," because allegedly they were saying, "Hey, we talked to Palpatine, so here's what we're gonna do." That doesn't happen on anywhere. So this is what really gets a lot of Star Wars plot lines going, because you're just like, okay, so what happens prior to this? Like, what happens to prior to Rogue One? Like, they don't just go there and steal the plans and that's it. What leads up to it? Like, and then behind that, no matter what you tell me, what leads up to that?
And to build on that point, we get him going back to Ferrix, Cassian Andor going back to Ferrix, and trying to just take his lottery winnings and rescue his faux mother. And try to scoop her away. And she's like, "No, there's a rebellion. Did you hear what happened? There was a robbery. Like, people are rising up." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I think I might have heard about that." And she was like, "No, people are standing up. I'm staying here, and the Empire is going to be out of here soon. I'm sure of it."
Yeah. And it gives you a little bit more realism.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. And this is what I talk about in Marvel. Marvel. Sometimes you gotta bring it down to street level, man, and like see like what's happening on the day to day, man. And
yes,
it's the same thing with Star Wars. You just show people fighting with lightsabers all day, like you're leaving out what's really happening on like the normal man's perspective. And I love that Andor is doing this. I love that Andor is bringing it down to hey, here's what the common folk think about that. And it's that, oh, this did spur people to believe the rebellion is real and that it can happen. And hey, you know what? I'm not gonna just leave here to go to some bougie place just because you stole some money. I'm gonna stay in here and fight.
nope. No, and that's the thing. So you get wrapped into that whole I can be a hero, but not I can be a hero, but not a superhero
But not
type
the
of
main
situation.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the main character, but I'm gonna make an impact, and a lot of that, even in the episode 6, was more of the I don't want to say main characters that became like minor characters, but obviously some of them didn't make it. That always happens. Some
Right.
of the main characters, but
Go ahead, CJ. Say it. The two black characters died, and it's fucked
hey,
up.
it wasn't fucked up, but the two black characters died. However, is there a sacrifice in vain? No, it's not. I was sitting there like, yeah, we can still keep going, but but it
It's
brings you
okay.
back
We
to
still
that.
have Diego Luna. We're halfway there.
Yeah, oh yeah, we do. We're good.
At least till Rogue
I'm not gonna
One.
put only up until I was gonna say it, but only up until Rogue One. They get a pass. They get hold on the camera. They get a pass. But no, it gave me that whole like anybody that no matter how small, how big, they will get you'll die. Like
Yep.
you have to in the ending game in the end game. I want to point that out. You have to put your life
now.
on the line. It's the end game that counts. Like frontline. I may not be the person marching and or taking somebody captive, but I may show up later and die. That's what that's what makes it more realistic for me. That's what makes this whole series like anybody can die at any point. And they did that, and I like it. It wasn't in the end it wasn't racial, it wasn't like classist, it wasn't rank wise. Anybody could die.
Yeah.
And or suffer some mortal wound that caused them to die.
So, I think if I can summarize, what we're trying to say is episode 6 of Andor. What a build up, dude. What a fucking not a build up. Almost a conclusion in itself. They stormed the garrison. They stole the credits. It was the most amazing.
Amazing. I heard amazing.
It was the most amazing. Not amazing. It was the most amazing Ocean's 11 scene we could get in Star Wars.
Yeah. It gave you the high scene.
And that was like all the action that we've been wanting from Andor for episode upon episode now. And then episode 7 gave us all the drama we needed from Andor up until now, right? Like, like all the results of episode 6 laid bare in episode 7. Yep. So, with that being said, I am so excited for the next 5 episodes of the show, man.
I am so much because I will say I told them there's more. There's like 5 more episodes.
The next After Hours with CJ, just so he doesn't sneak his way on here in advance, is going to be the end of Andor.
Yeah, I was here.
Unless we review Black Adam, which comes out this weekend.
All right, well, guys, looks like I'm going to be on another After Hours that I didn't plan. Because I didn't buy tickets, but I'm gonna buy tickets now.
Hey, I'm glad you're here.
Always.
I'm glad
always.
you're here. I'm glad you're here. Hey,
And you.
CJ, cheers.
Mm-hmm. Hey, cheers. I still have some drink left. Cheers.
It's an ice cube, bro.
I have more than ice cube. Someone clip it and ship it.
All right. Have a good night. Peace.
Peace.